BattleCon is a game that tries to simulate a fighting game, like a 2D video game fighting game, like Street Fighter, like Tekken, like old school, just side-scrolling fighters. And that's represented on the board really well. The problem I have is that this also ends up acting a lot like those games, where if I know my character really well, and I know your character really well, I'm just going to win. Especially if you don't know one of the two characters on the board. So when I buy a game like this, and I begin to understand the different characters and how the game functions, if you come in brand new, it is my job to not only teach you the game, but kind of give you a win, sort of, because it's really easy to just beat someone down, especially if I know how your character works. In the game, you have a set of cards that are kind of divided in half. You have cards that have the picture of your guy on them, they have stats on them, and then you have some cards that are in everybody's deck. And the cards that are in everybody's deck say things like strike and drive and burst and shot, and your special cards will have more like a adverb sort of feel to it. So for this character, I might tack on mechanical to drive, and when I put down two cards, they make mechanical drive. And they look like they go together. They have values, one half of them adds to those values, and you determine who goes first, how much damage you do, where you move, if you move, what happens before the beat, which is what a round is called, what happens after, what happens at the start of your turn, what happens after, all kinds of different phases and ways that the game can sort of play out. The point is, though, I can understand what's in your deck, and I can know what you're capable of, and I can know when you're likely to play certain things. At this starting moment, in the very beginning of the game, I know that your character is highly likely to play two specific cards. You're likely to want to back up, maybe, and do a shot card, a card that allows you to basically like Hadouken. And in order to combat that, I will either also back up to be outside your range, or I will try to do my best to move really far after you move. So you move back, then I move forward. Now I'm inside the range of your attack, plus I'm going to get a really powerful attack off, and I just know that that's common in the way these games play. And this also is very true in actual fighting games. If you're playing Dead or Alive, or if you're playing, especially in a game like Dead or Alive where there's counters, or in a game like the newer Street Fighters where there's parries, or in the newer kind of Tekken games where there's a lot of sidesteps, or Soul Calibur where you have to determine where you are just in relation to what your enemy is likely to do, whether it's a horizontal or vertical attack. Same thing happens. And just like in those games, if I understand my half better than your half, I will win. But in those games, in a video game scenario, the turnaround is so fast that you can start to win. You can kind of get that momentum going, maybe learn a couple of choice moves, and really get going. In this game, you kind of have a cooldown system. And I like the cooldown system because when I play two cards, like Mechanical Drive, it goes into a slot on the board. Then the first slot goes back into my hand, the second slot moves into the first slot, and now I have the cards that I had played 3 rounds ago back in my hand. And those are two totally separate cards. They don't have to go together. They can get split up. So in a game like this, when one person just knows more, how do you really develop a community around it? How do you get people interested? I'm literally legitimately asking you people how you've got friends to play this game with. Because I don't hate the game. I just don't have anyone to play with. And I've got tons of people to play with. No one will play this game with me or with anyone else who even barely understands the game, because a match will last 30 to 45 minutes. And it was like, you know, okay, I guess you either let me win, which is no fun, or I win against you. And there's more than a few times where I've let my opponent win just to kind of give them a boost on how the game functions. We play the easier characters, or I play a really difficult to play character and they play an easy to play character, so that we kind of even the playing field. It just is not catching on. Are there any other games that you can think of that are kind of like this, where just the fact that you know more about the game makes it easier for you and keeps other people from actually wanting to play? I'd love to hear what you guys think about a game like this. I know that there's a very vibrant community around this game, and a lot of people seem to really love it. So more power to them, and more power to Level 99. They are an awesome game company making awesome games, and I think that this is one of them. And thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, give us a like and a share on Facebook, or a subscribe and a thumbs up on YouTube. Feel free to leave a comment with any, reasons I'm wrong, because I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why I'm wrong about this game. And we'll see you in the next video.